Andrea Gaudenzi has spoken out against banning Russian players. Wimbledon has been sent a clear message by the chairman of the ATP as Andrea Gaudenzi blasted those who banned individual athletes from Russia and Belarus. The All England club is yet to decide whether they will repeat their ban on players from the two nations after barring them in 2022, but pressure is growing on the club and on the LTA to reverse last year's decision or face consequences. Wimbledon was the only Grand Slam tournament to prevent all players from Russia and Belarus playing in the wake of the invasion of Ukraine last year, with the LTA following suit and barring the players from the grasscourt warm-up tournaments in Britain. It remains to be seen whether the same decision will be made this year following several threats and offers from the tennis tours, but the ATP chairman has now made his view clear. Andrea Gaudenzi condemned sporting bodies banning individual athletes as he stood by the ATP's joint decision with the WTA, ITF and 4 Grand Slams to make players from the two nations compete as neutrals with no mention of their country or flag. First of all, I want to reiterate that we always condemn and will condemn war, the ATP boss told Globo. I know it's obvious to say this, but it's important to repeat and reassure, because we send this message very clearly. Gaudenzi also backed the International Olympic Committee's approach to the matter, claiming that banning independent players was collective guilt. I think we are very much in line with the guidance of the IOC, he continued. Our players cannot play under their flags in team competitions like any other sport. But there are sports that ban individual players. Generally speaking, we do not believe in collective guilt. These guys have done nothing wrong. They've played tennis their whole lives. We feel that, in fairness, they need to have opportunities like everyone else. Explaining why he thought Russians and Belarusians should be able to compete as neutrals, the former world number 18 referenced Andrei Rublev, the Russian world number 5 who sent several messages condemning the war last year. Gaudenzi added, we also feel that they need to be able to compete and have a voice, say what they think. We saw Rublev write, "No war please," on camera. I think this is an important message. We want these players to play. To be able to express their feelings, even for this to reach their own people, their own country. To give your own version of the story. Generally speaking, we are for justice and freedom, and obviously against war, and we will continue to fight for these principles. Gaudenzi's words come after the WTA offered to retrospectively reduce the £830,000 $1 million fine they hit the LTA with to £415,000 $500,000 if the governing body for British tennis reversed the ban this year and allowed Russian and Belarusian players like Aussie Open champion Aryna Sabalenka to compete in the warm-up events in Nottingham, Birmingham and Eastbourne. Meanwhile, the LTA has been faced with the threat of losing their tournament licenses for events including the ATP 500 in Queens and Challengers in Surbiton and Ilkley if they barred players from the two countries again this year. The body has been threatened with expulsion from both tours if they bring back the ban, which would see their licenses removed and likely be placed on the open market for other nations' tennis bodies to purchase and stage the events overseas.